does perfume expire? A lot of people wonder, do fragrances go off? Does perfume go bad? That sort of thing. And the answer is that it kind of depends on a variety of factors. Perfume can expire, but it does depend on what type of perfume you're dealing with, how old the perfume is, where the perfume has been for all these years, and that sort of thing. So, the main thing is that perfumes tend to only last 10 years in most cases. However, there are some cases where perfumes can last 50 years, 60 years, many, many decades. And the thing that determines how long a perfume can last is mainly what the perfume is exposed to. So, say you have a perfume bottle that is often in direct sunlight. The sun destroys everything, pretty much. It breaks down molecules and just destroys things. And for that reason, if you leave any perfume in direct sunlight for an extended period of time, that perfume will eventually start to change. Some people actually like the way perfume changes when it's exposed to sunlight over the years. Most of the time, the sun will discolor the perfume and change the aroma. And usually it changes for the worse. Usually it will become... You can tell when a perfume has expired or gone off based mainly on how it smells. Say it smells usually sweet, but it's starting to smell a bit skunky or musty or something along those lines. So then you would know it's old, it's time to throw it out. But there are other cases where the sun may enhance or maybe warm up the aroma of a certain perfume, but that's kind of less common. Usually the sun just kind of destroys it. Another sign that you should look for to tell if perfume has gone off is the color. Now you can see this, say, in some vintage Chanel No. 5 perfume bottles. Chanel No. 5 is usually kind of a golden or maybe a dark golden hue, but a lot of vintage, Chanel No. 5 bottles that are 50 or 60 years old, they're often more of a bronze or golden brown sort of color. That doesn't necessarily, the color alone is not necessarily a good way to tell if the perfume is bad. But if that changed color is combined with a changed smell, then it's probably expired. Nothing bad will happen if you use expired perfume. Maybe it might irritate your skin if you have sensitive skin, but the main downside of expired perfume is that it just smells bad, so there's that. And there are cases in which some perfumes are pretty much perfectly good to use even after several decades. This is the case with, you could find a lot of vintage perfumes online for sale, and a lot of people like to collect vintage perfumes from many decades ago. And that's really only a good idea if the perfume has been kept in pristine condition. And in that case, the smell will probably still have changed a little bit, even if you do try to keep it in pristine condition. But even so, it shouldn't expire, because a lot of perfumes don't even have set expiry dates. It's more or less just kind of, when will the perfume start smelling a bit strange? And the main way to keep your perfume in good shape is to keep it away from the sun and keep it away from warm environments or hot areas like by the window or something. Instead, if you want your perfume to last many years, or if you want to buy vintage perfume and want to know what kind of condition it's been kept in, the perfume, it needs to be in a dark, cool area. As long as you do that, it should be in virtually perfect condition. And I have a good example of that. I have roughly a 40-year-old box of Joy by Jea Patou, which was... It used to be one of the most expensive perfumes of all time. And I actually did a full review of this fragrance in another video, but I only had the sample. This full bottle, like I said, is around 40 years old. It was given to my grandmother, and but it was never used. Instead, it was passed down to my mother, who also refused to use it out of sentimental reasons. Let's see if I can get it out of the box. So this has never been used, never. Then the thing about it is that, here's the inner box. The thing about this is that it has been kept in a closet, in a dark, cool closet for 40 years. So it's a perfect example of a perfume that has never been exposed to any sun damage or any other kind of damage. You can see it still has a beautiful color, golden color. I'm not going to use it because it's just, I guess, an heirloom at this point, but you can certainly see the bottle. It's a very nice bottle. Just a bit of dust on it, but other than that, it is pristine. So there you have that. A perfect example, in my opinion, of a perfume that has hardly aged a day since probably the early 80s. So for that reason, if you can manage to find some vintage perfume that has aged just as well as that, it would certainly be a good idea to buy it, because vintage perfumes do have some usually some very interesting notes because they use different ingredients compared to modern formulations. Most notably, they contain less synthetic ingredients, so it has usually a richer and more interesting smell. And this is also a good kind of note to remember if you, for some reason, want to hold on to a perfume for many years, or if you've had a perfume and haven't used it for many years and want to use it again, pretty much as long as it has been kept in a dark, cool area, not disturbed or not exposed to sunlight or excessive warmth, I would say that the perfume would pretty much be in perfect condition and it should be fine to use. Maybe if the perfume is 100 years old, maybe it'll start to smell a bit off, but most of the time, as long as you stored the perfume correctly, it should be fine to use. The aroma might change just slightly, just from natural aging. The main things that change are like the alcohol will start to break down to a certain extent and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, pretty much if you just take good care of where you put your perfumes, they should easily last for as long as you need them. So besides that, do perfumes expire? Yes, but you can easily prolong perfumes for many years as long as you store them in the right conditions. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.